All right, impromptu live. Impromptu live. I'm going to turn my mic down just a hair. There you go. That's a little better, hopefully. Jumping over the comments section. See if anybody jumps on. And then over here, see, I gotta be careful what I say before I turn TikTok on. Because if I say website, Facebook, YouTube, anything other than TikTok Shop, they shut me down. So I'm waiting until you guys come in here. So I don't want to say Facebook, but we are live currently on Facebook, YouTube, and our website. We have a live section on our website you can go to, and you can comment on there, and you can also comment on Facebook and YouTube. So jumping in. So with that being said, I'm going to stop saying those keywords so TikTok doesn't shut us down. I'm going to go live on TikTok. Two different experiences going on at the same time. So what's up? All right, TikTok is live as well. Doing a quick live. I wanted to showcase our QC operations on the Chicago ads. Finally, a year in development. What is this one? What's wrong with this one? What's wrong with that guy? Well, that's the wrong orientation. Ooh, I want to call it wrong. That's the intended orientation. You are previewing the Kelly orientation of the Chicago ads. Intended, not available on our website yet. These are going to come through. What's up, my man from Texas? It's me, Kay. No boy or girl, can't quite tell. What's up? What's up, Kay? Midwest Misfits, what's up, guys? Anyway, Kelly and orientation, not available on the website yet, being produced along with the Chicago ads production run. They come through as well, so you'll see these later. We had our first batch of down here, and I got to move the camera over here on our other setup. Got a whole batch of them there. And our QC operations on these. So believe it or not, guys, contrary to your belief, if you're not in the know, as a manufacturer, the more you do something, the better you get at it, right? The more you do something, the better you get at it. So I'd want to let you guys know, again, the QC operations on these and what that looks like. So instead of these going to black oxide from our forge shop, after they do the finish grind that we have coached and talked about and had them tune up almost exactly how we want it, they come to us before they go to black oxide. That way, if we need to make any adjustments at all, we can get a look at every single one of them. We can take QC every single edge on these and make any adjustments we need to. Also, if there's any straightening we have to do, we might have to do some last minute straightening because, again, we forge this entire thing. Every inch of this thing is touched by a forging hammer, right? And it's done in halves, this half and then this half. You may have seen our videos we've put out before on the extended process that takes in order to get this sledge face on there and get this thing produced. Sometimes mid-shaft, right, we have to do some final straightening. It comes as best as we can from the forge shop. Goes to heat treat. A heat treat sometimes also can create some movement in the bar itself. So we're going to come in here, take a look at it. And it's not always going to be perfect, again, because we forged this entire thing, you know, as a single piece from a single piece of rod in multiple steps, right? It's not always going to be perfect. We're going to get it pretty close, right? And so we're going to come in here, and that's when I can kind of pan over here. I got to make room for our friends over there at TikTok. We have our press set up over here, our hydraulic press. It is a 30-ton press, so it's capable of putting out 30 tons of pressure. We don't need that much to do any final straightening, but if there is any straightening through here to do, we put it on the press, and we just do fine-tune any sort of straightening, putting an extreme amount of pressure on that thing in order to fine-tune and just get a little bit of bending in there to straighten that thing out. The other thing we are going to be doing, too, I'll move you guys again bear with me while I move the tripod around here and hopefully get everybody in frame over here. And I'm going to move this even more. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. I also have behind me our industrial belt grinder, right? So behind me over here is our belt grinder. And what we're going to do is, again, we're going to check. We have some finish grind in here. We were doing some machine finishing. We found it works best to, it's at least for fluidity and getting these things actually off the line and into your hands. We actually ended up doing, we found that human grinding is better once we did enough coaching, once we did our tooling, getting our tooling dialed in, getting his bending operation dialed in and sort of a closed die operation. Previously, when we were doing machine finishing, we ended up with a little bit extra material because that bend operation happened. Well, we fixed that. So now we're able to actually do finish grinding by hand. And then we even get to come here and double check it, right? So we're looking at making sure there's no real bevel on the bottom side of here, that this is nice and flat. We do not want a bevel up top here at all. And so we make sure everything is nice and smooth from here up, right? And then we even hit the sides of this thing. Some of you guys are more concerned with cosmetics than actual functionality, we figured out in the past. Again, your trim line through here won't affect the use of the tool at all, right? Yeah, but so we actually have them come through and hit this and finish this up, clean up this bottom right through here after the forging and bending operation. Right through here, there is you know, extra material that has to be removed. So that gets done at the forge shop. They clean this all up. And the other thing we do is we add a bevel to the corners here, right? The corners are going to be hit a lot. And so that way we can cam this sign up over when we're rolling it a lot easier. We leave the bottom side of this, I don't want to say 90, there's just a little bit of chamfer on there from the dies. Sometimes it's a bit of a 90, but that's not being struck, so we're not worried about it chipping. And although, you know, personally, if I'm running this Halligan bar, I probably would almost put a bevel on the bottom side of this because it makes it easier to roll. Although some people sometimes, you know, like that to dig in. They want it to dig in so it doesn't, so it digs into the jamb or the door, whatever you're working on, so it doesn't slip on you. So that's personal use. But personally, for me, I would probably chamfer for both of these. Coming from us, though, we're not going to. We're just going to do that to this top side. So that's another thing we'll be checking here and making sure this is where we want it. And if we have to, we'll come back here and we'll hit that on our belt grinder one last time just to hit that and add a little bit of there. So silicone-based belts on here, which does, or silicone, which does a very good job of taking heat away as it grinds. And we're hitting this thing so quick. It really, you're just kind of hitting the surface of this. So you're not really affecting the heat treat of the Halligan bar at all. Another thing we're looking at, the fine tuning on here is, again, we didn't want any bevels through the forks side leading up to this. Everything has to be smooth. Getting your Halligan bar into tight areas, you don't want any bevels on there, right? So as we called this thing pre-tuned. I mean, look how square those shoulders are. Our depth markers are outward, so they're never going away. If I can't see them, I can feel them, right? And then we also want this to be perfectly smooth on the Chicago ads, right? So, and then another thing we're going to check, they cleaned up this side, cleaned up that side. We have to make sure they didn't make it too pointed, right? We'll make sure we don't have too many sharp edges on here. So if we end up with a little bit of a sharp edge on there, we're also going to hit this end over here on our belt grinder and flatten that out just a little bit so we don't have any sharp edges. Corners we might even round over just a hair because everything's too sharp, obviously it's going to chip. This is the thickness we run on here. This is right about where I want it. Personally, if it was my Halligan bar, I would run this probably even thinner. I would actually probably grind this down and run this a little bit thinner through there because, again, we like to make tools for worst case scenario, which is tight seams, tight doors, really tough to get in. This is nice and thin. That makes it a lot easier, and it's going to save you a lot of time and effort when you have those doors that almost seem impossible. With that being said, I'm cognizant of using my tool, and if I do have this super thin and I do have a higher mechanical advantage, and I do have an 1 3/4 adz instead of a 2-inch adz, I'm not going to be real dumb and put everything I have when I'm doing an adz roll on the end of this thing and putting an obscene amount of pressure in a twisting and shearing motion on my adz if I'm running this thin, because what's going to happen? Put all that pressure and it goes to a single corner that's super thin, right? And that twisting, shearing motion is one of the dumbest things we do with our halogen bars. We put all that pressure right out on the end when we're doing an adz roll against a stop. Well, I'm going to be cognizant of that, right? And if I'm going to run into a lot of resistance, I'm going to go up away from where the lock, right? If I'm not making progress with a good amount of pressure, but not an obscene amount of pressure, I'm going to move away from the lock so I don't damage my tool. I'm going to come up higher where I create a gap, and then I'm going to attack that gap, and then I'm going to work that gap back down the door back down the door towards the lock, right? Whether I'm below lock or above lock, I'm going to work that gap toward those. So that's one of the things I would do. But again, everybody out there, you guys with your forcible entry doors that are loaded up as hard as can be, you know, your blue doors where you're centralized, all your action is right next to the lock, which is the most rigid area of the door. It puts a ton of pressure on that tool. So unfortunately, we couldn't put these out as thin as I want them. I almost would want them thinner personally. If I want a tune tool out in the field, I would run them thin. But we found, again, you guys taking those tools to your loaded up forcible entry doors, and actually, you know, I do think that our instructing and teaching of forcible entry going right next to the lock, and our introduction of forcible entry doors that are super rigid, super hard, is not reality. It's not a real door, right? And so that coaching, that teaching of going right to the lock, I think really is the wrong way of doing things, and it does a lot of damage to your tools. If you guys don't know, as a manufacturer, you see that. You get people that come back and say, hey, how did this happen? How did that happen? Well, we're teaching forcible entry for forcible entry doors instead of for real doors, right? And it's just, anyway, it's not the best thing. So it's going to take years of education and getting people dialed in on these things. So that's the once over on the tuning process, guys. So the other question we got is, hey, how do I get it in this natural color? So this is the as forged color on there. There is no plating or anything like on that. And we do like to send these to, I'm not going to answer that. I might have to return that phone call. So I'm not going to be on here too long because I probably have to return that phone call. These are not plated. These are the regular steel on here, raw. We like black oxide instead of plating. So you're going to go to black oxide. They'll get blacked out. And the reason we like black oxide is because it gives you that blackened color. It helps kind of protect it from rust a little bit, not a ton. It helps cover up any corrosion, gives you 1 year's worth of that oil bath that it gets, helps keep it rust free. Of course, you got to coat it with old pappies when you're done using it. But with black oxide, the nice thing is if you do want to polish it down, some guys want to polish their halogens, you can take it to a high luster finish. It will not rust very well because it's so smooth and so shiny. You can do that with black oxide a lot easier than you can something that's plated. Something that's plated, you would have to, you know, get all the way through that plating before you start polishing the steel. So that's why we like black oxide. So no, they're not available in the raw finish. We do everything in black oxide for now. We continue to look at other options. There is a blackened zinc nickel we've kind of been looking at. Not a lot of people do it. That's an option we've sort of started looking at. So that's right. Treat your tool or it'll treat you. That's right. Midwest Misfits knows what's up. They know about that old Pappy Dukes, that old Pappy lube. Lube your tool. Get some old Pappies on your tool, man. It'll take care of you. You take care of it, it'll take care of you. I like that. So, man, that is the once over. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update. I know a lot of you have pre-ordered the Chicago ads. Nobody's ordered the Chicago Kelly yet. It is coming. So we got our first bin in. They're going to come in waves. The halogens will keep coming. The ads will keep coming in waves. We're going to keep QCing them, tuning them, making sure they are good to go. We're going to get through all of these today. And then tomorrow morning, they're going to go to black oxide. And then come back to us after that. And then we're going to start shipping them. So we put that email update out that we start shipping over the next week or two. We're getting towards the end of the second week. We just got them in. It's never accurate. Our timelines are never accurate. it is what it is at this point, man. We try to give you the best information we can. So, but again, we're going to get after it. We're going to get these tuned up. We're going to QC every single one of them, get our eyes on every single halogen that comes through here, every single ads that comes through here, and then it's going to go out to you guys. So they are coming. They're almost there. So I wanted to, again, hop on here, hop on the live, give you guys that update, and make sure that you guys know what's going on. And again, I want the content we're putting out, at least the information we're putting out, as raw and as real as possible. So looks like somebody on TikTok said they just got our stitch hook from us and they love it. And yes, that's what we find out, is when people actually try our tools and they realize how purpose driven they are and how they offer options that are not already out in the field, they typically love it, right? And so we just got to do a better job of educating and demonstrating the features, the design features, and why they were designed that way. So hopefully we can start doing a lot more of this and start putting out a lot more videos that kind of keep you guys tuned into the design process and why we made something a certain way. So that's the latest. I just wanted to get on here. It's 3 o'clock. I've got stuff I'm supposed to go do. We're going to get through these, and these will head over to black oxide tomorrow. So next week, anybody who ordered, if you're one of the first ones to order, you're going to start getting shipments on these. Again, those batches will continue to come in, and we'll just continue to ship until they are out there. So I should have put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But so almost there, guys. Almost there. So thank you all so much for your patience. On TikTok, I'm going to try to go live a lot more. If I was going through the QC process, maybe tomorrow morning, when I'm actually going through the process, I'll hit up live again. I'll just let it run so you guys can check it out and just watch us go through the process. So that's all I got. So appreciate you. We'll check you later. See, again, I don't understand. So hold on, TikTok's yelling at me now. I didn't say anything. I didn't say the words that you're not supposed to say. I didn't even say nothing. I don't understand. Somebody explain to me why TikTok restricts your stuff, because I have no idea why. I didn't say any of the bad words. Man, TikTok kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. I'll try to peel it again. Nope, maybe it disappeared. Maybe the appeal disappeared. So it already disappeared. Yeah, because I told them they suck. Yeah, TikTok blows. Yeah. All right, well, we're back up. But anyway, I gotta get moving, guys. So thank you again. I hope to do this more as we work on getting our equipment set up and everything, and doing a lot more live. That way you guys can ask questions. I think it's awesome. I want to do a lot more of that. I also want to touch base. You know, we've actually implemented a lot more newsletters coming out and going to you guys. If you haven't joined our newsletter, please do. The one thing I want to change on that is we've had a vendor help get those out, and they look super neat and cool and corporate and all that and blah, 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 blah. I don't like it. I wish it was more raw. I wish it came from me directly. And so I want to change that so the information is coming from me directly to your guys' email box, as instead of the corporate emails, the sales pitches. I'd rather you guys just have tactics, tool design, and information directly from me. So we're working on that. So that's all I got, guys. So thank you. I got to get out of here before I get yelled at. We appreciate everybody. Chicago Ads is coming. Kelly version will be on the website soon. You will see some pricing changes. This is everything is, again, limited to supply going out to you guys. So get it while you can is all I'm going to say. So that's it. All right, TikTok, I'm signing out, and then I'm going to sign out on everybody else. So, all right, we appreciate you. Take it easy. TikTok's gone, guys. TikTok's gone. I got to get out of here, too, on this one. So appreciate you guys jumping in. Thanks to you guys that sent in comments. Huckleberry, if you're still on, I don't know if you are. You see, you can't wait to get his 29. 29s will be coming next. We got 26s coming through. 29s are coming next. So appreciate you guys. You guys take it easy.